I started biking probably 25 years ago. I just like the freedom, man. I mean, being out in the woods. That's what I like about getting out on the gravel and then the trails is that, you have to concentrate on what you're doing. It's not in the gym watching TV while you're on an elliptical or something. You're out in nature. In Arkansas, there's just tons of places to go ride your bike and enjoy yourself. I injured my hip riding a motorcycle. I didn't get my hip replaced to ride it first, just trying to prolong the hip replacement. It didn't affect me riding my bicycle or my daily activities for the first 3 or 4 years, but then the injury in my hip was causing, lower back pain. Walking and being on my feet all day started bothering me. It didn't really limit me from doing the things I needed to do, but it sure slowed me down a lot. I definitely had to plan more on how to approach things to keep the pain manageable throughout the day. Probably the last year and a half, it was really bothering me riding my bike. It was getting to be a struggle to make it through the day. It was time to get my hip replaced.
One of the most gratifying things for me taking care of you has been that I took care of your original injury a decade ago, and then 10 years later, I got to meet you in the office and take care of you again to do your hip replacement. And I didn't even see you throughout that whole time. I didn't see you for that 10 years.
I'm glad I waited as long as I did so I can get more years out of it. But and then again, I'm glad that it's done.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard patients say, had I known it was gonna be this easy, I would have done it sooner. That's a very common phrase. And the implants we have these days last on average 20 years. He's gonna get a great quality of life out of these implants. And that's one of the reasons why I operate at Arkansas Surgical Hospitals, because it provides me the opportunity to take my patients to a hospital where we can control the quality of care that we provide. I know that the staff we hire there, the nurses, the team that we've assembled in the operating rooms are outstanding. We hire the best quality team available for my patients.
My family and people I go to church with just couldn't believe I was up and walking around as quick as I was.
Absolutely, and that, for me, that's exactly why I chose to do hip replacement, to see patients do so well, and that's why hip replacement is such a great operation, specifically minimally invasive direct anterior total hip replacement. For that answer, Mr. Dave Ryan's gotten back to doing what he loves to do. He's back to mountain biking, road biking, and back to normal life in several months' time?
Six, 7 months.
6, 7 months, and now you're riding how much in a?
I mean, I can ride 8 to 10 hours. I mean, I can do a 50-mile gravel ride.
That's amazing. That's outstanding.
No problem. I'd suggest anybody that's having hip problems to come see you, man, because life is a lot better now.
Absolutely.
After the replacement, everything just seemed to be back to normal. I didn't have any more arthritic pain, any more lower back pain. I can do pretty much anything now. I mean, if my wife wants to go hiking, I can go hiking. I mean, I can do all my chores around the house without having to sit down several times. What stood out to me about Arkansas Surgical Hospital was the staff, the professionalism of everybody there. They all specialize in what they do, whether it be your knee, your shoulder, your back, your hip. You don't have to live with the pain. The doctors at Arkansas Surgical Hospital can take care of it and fix you right up, and you're only going to get more unhealthy by not having it done than you are having it done. For my hip replacement, you would have to talk yourself into doing a few of the activities you like to do, but since my procedure, it's just, you don't think about that anymore. It's just like when I feel like going, I go.